Bienvenidos todos, and welcome to the 7th episode of the Sigue Adelante podcast. I have a very special guest here today, Mr. Markus Palma.
How's it going?
How you doing today,
Good,
Mr.
good,
Mark?
good. Glad to be here.
So the topic of today's episode is the similarities between Mexicans and Filipinos. Yeah?
There's a ton.
Yeah, the Mexicans and the Filipinos, we are pretty much the same people,
Yeah.
to be honest. Marcus is my sister's boyfriend. He's been with us for how many years?
8 years.
8 years. So we've pretty much adopted him into our Mexican family. He kind of knows like our traditions, our cultures, and our ways.
Mm-hmm.
So he's seen it for sure firsthand.
Yeah, definitely.
How has that been for you?
It's
Coming
been
from like a full Filipino family to this.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's a lot of shared experiences that we have. There's a bunch of cultural similarities, language similarities. You know, it's funny. You being a Mexican, you obviously understand. Like we tons of family, not only here in the United States, but in your country in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Same with us. We have huge dynamic families where we don't even know who's cousin, who's aunt, and how that relationship happened. It just sort of is, hey, here's my auntie, here's my uncle, and it's the same with you guys. And we share a lot of the same words because, we were colonized by the same country for so long. Your original language wasn't Spanish, surprisingly. And Tagalog wouldn't sound like it does had it not been for Spain. So there's tons of similarities. There are food similarities. Sometimes we look alike, too. And that's always really funny to me. But it's a keen perspective that you see the similarities within the cultures and the people, the language, and etc.
It's crazy that you say that too, because I know a lot of times you'll go to like parties or like in my case, like my grandma would have people over and be like, oh, this is your tío, this is your cousin, this is your aunt. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know I had tios and aunts and cousins.
Exactly.
And I'm sure it's the same with you guys. You guys have such a big family. Not even like that's not even in the States. I'm sure you have cousins and aunts and uncles in the Philippines that you've never even met.
Oh, exactly. Tons of my family. Actually, I myself haven't been to the Philippines, but that doesn't mean that the Filipino blood doesn't run rampant or really loud inside of me. When I was younger, that wasn't so much the case, but now I'm extremely proud of the culture that's within me, behind me, and in my family, and it's something to be proud of, as you can relate. You're a really proud Mexican person.
Oh yeah, the Filipinos and the Mexicans, they're some of the most prideful people out there for sure.
Let's go, baby.
And growing up, I had a lot of Filipino friends, and it's crazy because when I would first meet them, like I would see like their first and last name, and I'm like, what the hell are you? They have Filipinos with the last name like Garcia, Hernandez, and all this stuff. So you guys have like the same Spanish last names that we do too.
Yeah, when Spain came to the Philippines, when they conquered it, we didn't have Spanish last names. So the way we earned or we got those last names were from either slave owners or from the professions that we did. I like to say that my last name is Palma because my people were basket weavers or palm tree growers or something to do with coconut trees or something with palms. But yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But that is crazy because a very common Filipino last name is Garcia, Salvador. And it's crazy because that's the same with Mexican people too. So yeah, we share that.
You go all throughout Mexico and then it's the same last names. But another thing too is the language. I know you said something about that earlier, but you guys pretty much have some of the same words in Spanish, like to the T, and then if it's not, then it's just like a letter or two difference. Right. I know we were talking about it earlier. We have regalo for gift, and it's the same thing for you guys, no? Regalo.
We have Celia. Well, for you guys it's Silla, but that double L consonant becomes a Y for us, L-Y, whereas it just becomes a straight Y for you guys.
And then we have tortilla, and you have...
We say tortilla.
Tortilla. Same thing with we're looking at. I have a bunch of words right here: maleta, luggage, papel, paper,
Zapatos, cuchara, ventana, sombrero, mellas.
You say manzana?
Yeah,
See?
we say manzana, for
Manzana.
apple.
Sigue.
Sigue, like sigue.
It's like sigue
Sigue,
adelante
ayan,
too.
sigue. Some palengke. No, but yeah.
Same thing with the colors: azul, verde,
Yeah.
rojo. You
Yeah.
say rojo,
Yeah.
amarillo for yellow, or something else.
It's the same.
Oh shit.
Yeah, same with numbers too. When you're telling the time, you're gonna say, "Oh, I don't notice now," which is what time is it right now? And you'll say, "Oh, a las dos now," which means at 2. Yeah. So you can see that Spanish is extremely prevalent inside, the Tagalog language still, even though it's not a Hispanic country. Hispanic, the derivation of Hispanic being that it's a predominantly Spanish-speaking country. We're not a Hispanic country, but there's a lot of shared, mostly nouns are in Spanish still to this day, even though we've been divorced from Spain for hundreds of years now. But it doesn't mean that those several hundred years of occupation in the Philippines, isn't there. It is there, because here in Southern California, we're exposed to such a large variety of different cultures, but you do see a lot of Filipinos here, and you see a lot of Mexicans too.
Oh yeah.
But one thing that you could tell right away is that we're not even though we're based in the southeast portion of Asia, we don't look like a lot of the poster Southeast Asian boy or Korean. If you think of Southeast Asia, you're thinking like China, Korea, Japan, Indonesia. Indonesia is pretty similar. But if you look at us Filipinos, it's like, man, these guys look like brothers sometimes.
Yeah. But then they also look like paisas too at the same time.
So yeah, you could see that blood mixture, that there's something called apat na alon in Filipino culture. It means the mark of the 4 waves. It means before Philippines became what we all know as it now, there were 4 people who resided in the Philippines prior to us knowing what a Filipino looks like now. First one would be the Austronesian. They sort of look like, brothers. And then next were Arabs. The very next were Spain, which was the most prevalent, the most, the longest time colonized in the Philippines. And then next was America, and they helped liberate us. Well, they helped liberate us, then occupied us, then we earned our liberty thereafter. But yeah, you could see that the mixture of those people that came into the Philippines has had a huge, effect on how we look and speak, and how our culture is, how our food is. We don't use chopsticks. We either use our hands or we use spoon and fork, not one or the other.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then I know like Tagalog has like a lot of like roots to Spanish.
Yeah,
and
tons.
But with the Philippines as well as Mexico, I'm pretty sure you guys have a lot of like native languages.
We do.
A lot of like languages that aren't really spoken, or they're mostly spoken like just kind of in like a little small area. I know in Mexico, it's like that. There's certain parts where they don't speak Spanish. They have like their native sort of languages that have stood with them for years and years and years. And I'm sure with you guys, there's hundreds, if not thousands of different languages that they have. So it's like it's that whole Spanish like fucking conquest shit. That
7,100 plus islands is really hard to control. Especially it's not so far spaced, but trying to send troops and control the entire country. Like I said, it's comprised of 7,000 plus islands. You're not going to be able to keep a firm grip on everyone. So in that sense, we understood that as people. So we tried to keep some things alive. We kept some martial arts alive. We kept some of the language like you were describing. And we kept it alive by secretly speaking it to one another. Tagalog is not the only, it's the predominant language in the Philippines. But we also have Visayan, Kapampangan. There's tons of dialects in the Philippines. that the average person doesn't really know. And they all sound kind of similar. Or Ilocano, you've heard it.
Yeah.
I've heard it. I can't understand it, but it's a cool language. It's the northern region of the Philippines. But yeah, they've survived. Even martial arts has survived just by us like keeping it alive and sending it through the years,
And then I was just watching a video the other day of the people in the Philippines that napped through like all these years of their family. They haven't really like touched the outside world, and they've developed the skill to be underwater for like freaking 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes without having to take a breath. And that's how they'll go, and they'll go fishing. They'll take their spear guns and all that stuff. So that's crazy that
those are called the Bajau people of the Philippines. They've been living above floating tents in the water because they're fishermen. They survive 100% of their diet is from the ocean. So what they'll do is they've developed over the hundreds and hundreds of years, they developed larger spleens, and they can hold their breath for 14 minutes. And their process really quickly is they'll grab a really heavy rock that they always take with them, and then they'll dive from the middle of their tent. You remember how I said it was above water?
Yeah.
They jump in, they hold the rock, wait for a fish, walk up to it, and will spear it. Sometimes that takes about 15 minutes, and they can hold their breath for that long just because of the span of time that their bodies have evolved that capability. But yeah,
I know a lot of Filipinos definitely love fish.
Oh man,
for sure. I know, like, we're the part of Mexico where my family is from, we're right there on right next to the ocean too, so fucking always devouring fish.
Oh man, you have no idea, man. We have isda to the maximum. Isda is fish, and we have stuff like patis. I know you hate the smell of it, but it's a fish sauce.
Oh shit.
And I've acquired such a how do I say this? Like, such a developed flavor for it. I need that when I'm eating Filipino food. It's not Filipino unless you're having that. And if you're Filipino out there, you can understand what it's like to have like alamang or patis with you. Just like you guys have one of the spiciest cuisine. And sometimes I can't handle it. Sometimes I don't know how you do it, but it's an acquired thing that your people have, developed to withstand. It's crazy.
I love spicy food all day. All day, every day.
Yeah, Mexican food is extremely spicy, and if there's no spice in it, then they'll add the spice to it.
And if there's spice, sometimes they'll add even more. You never know. One thing too, like I mentioned, I had a lot of Filipino friends, and over the years, I've definitely gone to hang out at their houses and gone to their parties and all that stuff. And what I realized is that they have fucking big ass parties like we do.
Yeah.
Even if it's for like the smallest thing. Sometimes they don't even need a reason to have a party. They'll all just gather together. You have, from what I noticed, is you have like all the adults in one section, and then you have like the teenagers, and then you'll have like the little kids kind of like upstairs in the corner.
Just like the Mexican party.
Yeah, it's like the same thing. So I'm like, I go over there, I'm like, oh shoot, and then
Pacquiao fights were just.
They love to party. They love to go watch the fights. Yeah, boxing is really big in the Philippines.
Huge.
Likewise in Mexico, I know. It's like the biggest sport.
I would say
the second or first or second.
You know what? There's a funny saying that they have. It's a fact, actually. This is a statistic, actually. When Manny Pacquiao would fight, crime would drop more than 50%. During those hours of those fights, just because everyone, good or bad, from far north to far south, they'll get together just to watch. And it's something beautiful because it's, when you see one of your, someone that looks like you, and they're on the TV screen from a similar place that you're in, especially Philippines being a third world country, it's really cool that I got to see in my lifetime, like an icon like Manny Pacquiao on the television being the #1 contender in 8 classes. That's amazing. And every Filipino is like we all shared that same prerogative of being extremely proud of him, no matter what, And then he serves as an icon as well, because later on he became a politician who helped out the country tenfold.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
Manny
yeah.
Pacquiao is the pride and
Oh,
joy
of
of the
course.
Philippines.
Yeah, as is Canelo, and same with Oscar de la Hoya. But boxing is huge, just like it is for Filipinos. Which is why I get really mad when either he loses or when another Filipino calls out someone like Ryan Garcia.
Your boy Ryan Duno got bodied by
Oh,
Ryan
man.
Garcia.
But that's neither here nor there.
I saw a video of, I like how you said their crime dropped like 50%. I saw a video of like one little TV in the Philippines, and like fucking hundreds of people are surrounded by there's like no cars moving, nobody's moving, they're all just staring into the little TV, which was really cool to see.
Yeah, because like I said, Philippines isn't a country of abundance with money, at least. We're very wealthy in terms of like beauty and everything that the Philippines has to offer, but economically speaking, we're not the best. So we make do with what we had. And like you said, my brother sent me, when he went to the Philippines a couple of years ago, he sent me a video of a tiny little television in the metro station, and he panned around. He just took a second to pan around. There was hundreds of faces just watching the television screen when Pacquiao was fighting. So that was really cool.
I know in Mexico too, it's like not really, it's not the poorest, but it's not the richest.
Right.
There's definitely places where it's underdeveloped and they don't have like all the resources.
Yeah, same.
But the same stuff happens too, like whether it be like Canelo fights. I know I've been in Mexico and everybody has gathered around one little TV, or like I know the soccer is not that big in the Philippines. Basketball. I know the Lakers are playing. I think all the Filipino. They like the Golden State Warriors too, is what I noticed.
No. Lakers,
but
baby.
We don't like the
Lakers.
But yeah, no, it's cool to see like one nation like all gathered up just to support one another. And I know the Philippines is really, really proud just how we are to see like their people on the rise, coming up, doing good things. I know, like we were talking about boxing, how there's been a lot of good Mexicans and Filipinos fighting one another too. Like when Pacquiao and Marquez were fighting for like fucking 10 fights, and they're going
Bloody
back
battle.
and forth. Yeah, those are some good ones.
Those were the best.
We don't really have too many of those fights recently, like in the like higher. I mean, the Ryan Garcia and Duno was the last one, but Maxayo and then Navarrete just fought the other day too.
I think Maxayo,
he lost. Navarrete got him. Yeah, Navarrete is a beast though. Yeah, Filipinos like Mexicans, they love to party too. Though.
Love to party.
They can throw down with the drinks.
Man. Oh, lambanog, man.
Would you guys drink tequila?
Yeah, so over in the Philippines, there's this really popular drink. Well, gin is one of the most popular drinks out there.
Oh, shit.
But a lot of Filipinos make this fermented coconut drink. It's called lambanog.
Oh, shit.
And it's extremely popular over there. And it's extremely strong. And a culture that's in the Philippines, drinking culture is extremely widely accepted in the Philippines. You can just walk down the street and someone will have a shot glass going, hey, you want to take a shot? And then you'll just join them. That's just how it is over there. But that's another thing is, Mexican people and Filipino people are they're very generous people. I've realized that, even though, like I said, we don't come from the most wealthy, we're extremely generous people, and we help not only, our own kind, but we help a lot of people out.
Oh, 100%. Like whenever you go, like when I would go to my Filipino friend's house, they would always be so welcoming.
Oh, cool.
Like,
of course.
You're like one of them. It's like really no difference with us too. Bring anybody. Like we have our boy Snailian. It's become part of our family. Shout out to Snailian, white boy. He made the podcast, even though he doesn't listen to it. Fucking Snailian. Yeah, I know. Another thing that we have in common is in Mexico and the Mexicans, we have quinceañeras.
Oh, we had debut.
So when Mexicans, the girls, they turn 15, they have quinceañeras. And in the Philippines, when the girls turn 18 they have a debut, which is pretty much the same thing.
It's the exact same thing. There's no difference.
So I've never been in a quinceañera, but I've been in the debut.
That's right.
Yeah. So I was, one of my friends, she had a debut, and I was a part of that too. But it's the same pretty much concept. um, birthday party. They have a dress, and then they have like
The 18 candles.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty cool to see. Another thing too with Mexicans is that there's a set time for something,
Mm-hmm.
and you already know they're gonna show up like an hour and a half or two later.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the same with the Filipinos. They got Filipino time.
It's the same for every single Filipino out there. And if you say you're not this way, you're not a real Filipino. If the party is at 5, we will start inviting at 2 because we know y'all are showing up at like 6.
Yeah, same thing. If we have something, we always got to tell them like 2 hours in advance because it's not happening. I don't know why, but then you already know the Mexicans and Filipinos are going to be there till like 3-4 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely.
Food too. They have a lot of food that's pretty similar to ours. Like obviously the seafood. We're both kind of surrounded by the ocean and all that in certain spots. But like you said, menudo.
We have torta.
What is torta?
The way that we make torta ginising is I'll take ground beef, red bell pepper, garlic. Garlic is a must. It's a staple with you Filipinos. We love garlic. And black pepper.
Okay.
It's a very simple dish. You fry that together, and then instead of putting it in bread, like Mexican tortas are, we just mix it with rice.
Oh,
because Asia.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then flan. You guys
flan.
Have flan too. They look pretty similar.
They're exactly the same. There is no difference at all. Like none. Except that for some of them we make ube flan. It's purple.
Oh, it's like us. We do choco flan.
Ooh,
it's like a chocolate cake on the bottom and then the flan at
we
the
have
top.
champurrado too.
Champurrado.
Oh,
it's
man.
like how do you guys? It's like a hot chocolate.
Yours is like a hot chocolate. Ours is more like a porridge. You know, it's a little thicker, the consistency of it. And then you guys add like whole milk, whereas we add condensed milk, which is really thick, to add to that viscosity. But yeah, tons of food. We have lechon too, which came directly from the recipe of Spain. And we have that at every single function.
I know, like for like football games and stuff, I see a lot of the Mexicans. They'll have they'll have the pig, and then I don't personally eat pork and that, but I see it all the time.
I love it.
Adobo, you guys use a lot of adobo too. When I do my carne asada marinade, I actually put adobo in it, and it makes it bomb.
Adobo's I think it's like the number. Whenever I ask someone outside of the Filipino culture what's their favorite food, they typically will go lumpia and then adobo.
Oh, lumpia goes.
Oh, lumpia goes.
I like
hard.
pancit.
Pancit's fire too, with the glass noodles. So you know this culture.
Yeah.
I mean, being with your sister for 8 years, I've reflected so much Filipino culture to you as well, which is cool because you absorb it so much. Just as I'm absorbing, the Mexican culture in this household, you guys too are also absorbing the very loud Filipino culture that I, outwardly express.
Oh yeah. And then I mean we both work together. So
we have a business together actually. This is my business partner right here.
He's surrounded by Mexicans all the time. But then in the same industry that we work in, there's a lot of Filipinos too. So
we're hard workers, man. We're both extremely hard workers. And if I always say this, you don't see a lot of Mexican, you don't see a lot of Filipino, homeless or begging for money on the side, is because we would rather work our knuckles, our knees, our joints to the bone rather than sit idly or beg for money. And that's a testament to the hard work that you see in a lot of Mexicans. I think in a couple episodes prior to this one, you mentioned one of the older guys that we see frequently at work.
Roberto? Yeah.
Roberto. No quiero trabajar. You could see that he still has that prowess, that physical ability, because he's such a hard worker. But given that he's so much older than us, he's slower, but you still see it, that tenacity in him, that hard work. And I that's something to admire. Like you said, we work together. It's not that common that you'll see a Filipino in the trade, but you see them.
Yeah. A lot of them are electricians.
Right. Tons of them. And a lot of them are non-English speaking too, because what they at least know how to do is work hard.
Oh yeah.
And that's one thing that we share, that really, really good work ethic. You'll see it in nurses. You'll see all of the others fall off before you see a Filipino give up. And during COVID-19, you saw a lot of Filipinos, up at the very front of all of that.
And then not only are they hardworking, but they have each other's backs.
Of course, man.
The same way like the Mexicans do. Like at like you said, like sometimes there's just a couple of Filipinos at the job site. But they're always together. They're always having lunch together. Always.
Or they'll call me over. You see them.
One of my best friends at the job site for like a year or two was this like 50-year-old Filipino guy.
Alan.
He was probably like this tall. Alan, fucking Jaculs. Me and him used to fucking go at it back and forth, just mocking each other, making fun of each other, just having fun with it.
You called him Jaculs. For those who know, Jaculs, don't be saying it around your mom or dad, but.
And then Alan looked like Chanak.
He looked like the Chanak.
Yeah, he was like the little Chanak.
You see how much he knows? He knows the Tikbalan, he knows the Chanak, he knows all the Manananggal.
Aswang.
The Aswang.
Yeah.
He's, like I said, I'm extremely loud with the culture that I exude. And he absorbs it. His sister absorbs it. And it's really cool because you guys also have your very own folktales and,
That's
stories.
What I was gonna say. The Tikbalang is pretty much the same thing as the Chupacabra.
Yeah, pretty much. And it looks very similar too.
Yeah.
And it's just cool that we have this lore, this spiritual connection, even though we're divided by thousands of miles of ocean. We're so similar. And it's really cool to see. It's really cool to experience too. Because I come across a lot of cultures being in the melting pot of Southern California. You do too. But you see a very big similarity between our people, even though we were colonized so long ago.
Oh yeah.
And it's cool. Sure. Sometimes, like you said, we look alike. But and then we're working side by side in these fields. It's funny. We're living these very parallel lives.
Yeah, the Filipinos are pretty much like the Pacific Islander Mexicans.
Pacific Island Mexicans.
Yeah, Pacific Island Mexicans. I think that's gonna wrap it for today's episode. Thank you, Marcus, for being on the podcast today. Shout out to the Philippines and the Philippine people. You guys are pretty much family, like, of course, with us. The same culture, same concepts and all that. So shout out to you guys. This wraps the 2023 year.
Happy New Year to you, brother.
Thank you. You too. We just had Christmas the other day, so hope all you guys had a wonderful Christmas. I know everybody's getting sick right now, so try to be safe.
We're just getting over it.
Stay healthy. Yeah, that's why we're doing it outside today. So yeah, for next episode, it will probably be dropping, I think, the first or second week of January. I have a surprise guest for you guys on that one, so stay tuned. But other than that, thanks, Marcus. And
I want to say something.
He wants to say something.
Hey, bro, props to you, man, for this show and for what you've been doing, man. Just me and you. Because I've known you since you were younger, and doing something like this outside of pocket, outside of the regular life that we live, outside of business, school, etc., the things that we do, man. This is something different. It's a risk, but it's something that I think speaks volume, not only between you and your the Mexican culture, but with all cultures, man. This is really inspiring, not only for the younger kids, but to someone who maybe is, doesn't have the right, maybe they don't have older brothers, maybe they don't have someone to look up to who is a Mexican. Maybe they're a first generation and they don't have the answers. They don't know how credit works. They don't know what it's like to navigate through college. And you're bringing these people in this sphere. And I think that's a really cool thing, dude. And I think, for those who are searching for guidance, they should, this is a good little pit stop.
Yeah, I'm trying.
And, it's an honorable thing, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Major props.
Appreciate it.
And for 2024, I only hope that this scales and this keeps on growing.
I know I only get like a couple of views right now, but just trying to stay consistent with it, trying to give you guys good information, some sort of value from this, and we're not gonna stop. We're just gonna keep going.
Exactly.
take it day by day.
I'm glad to have been a part of this.
See where it goes. Yeah, no, we'll definitely have you back. We'll do like a food episode, and then we'll try each other's food. And
exactly. Hopefully by then, man,
collaborate even more.
Yeah, and then by then, hopefully you got a whole team. I watched this man set this whole thing up himself, and these are the humble beginnings, man. When you go back and watch this in the future, let's say you're continuing to do this 5 years from now, you got this major setup, man. These are the things you'll look back and say, man, look at where I've come from. But at the very least, I started with the little I had. And that's all it's about, dude. Yeah. It's not about, I need to make sure I have every piece of gear together and then start. Because if all you're doing is, gathering everything and waiting for the right moment, you're never going to start. Or it's going to be too late and you're going to give up on it.
I think that's what happens to a lot of people.
Exactly.
Perfect plan, perfect opportunity, and then sometimes you got to just do it. Like we have these $5 microphones. Yeah. They work just fine. I'm filming off my phone.
Exactly. And to you, not only the Mexican brothers, but the Filipino brothers out there, if there is some value to be had or to grasp from this show, why not? This is such a cool opportunity to learn, You're adding value to this platform. You're adding value to your culture, to your people, to the people that are not only your age but younger, man. This is really cool.
Appreciate it.
Major props to you, man. And I'm only praying for your blessings in 2024, man.
Thank you.
Majorly. Thank you, and that's just between me and you, just honest as a brother, bro.
Thank you.
So anyways,
All right.
My name is Mark Palma. It's a pleasure being here on this show today. My business is MK Fire Protection. If you or anyone needs fire protection needs, hit Caesar up, because like I said, he's my partner. I'm the president. He's one of the co-presidents as well. We're the founders of this. He's the founder of this show. He's doing big things, man. We're all doing it.
And 2024 is going to be the year of MK Fire too.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, we serve the Southern California area, but I can also serve the other surrounding states from Arizona, Nevada, Texas to Colorado. But California is our main sector, especially Southern California. Yeah. But I'm hoping to expand and scale from there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, brother.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching the episode. As always, you can, find it on Spotify and YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Sigue Adelante Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Thank you to our guests once again. And as always, Sigue Adelante.
Peace.
Fuck yeah.